Cephas, back with another video from Alangara Rising in Neverwinter Night's persistent world. If you want to join us here, you will need the Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition, the CEP files, and our override files, all of which can be found linked at our forums, www.alangara.dk. Today's video is a video on using the Forge to add damages to weapons. We're at Aaron's Forge in the plaza. In order to use the forge, you must be level 10, and you must have the currency of the forge, which are forge tokens. You can obtain a forge token one of three ways. The first way being quest reward, and the other two ways are to buy them. They cost either 15,000 gold pieces and 10 Torcarian cherries, or you can simply pay 25,000 gold pieces and bypass that cherry requirement. There are a lot of different rules, all of which are on the sign, price list, and services, that govern how much damage you can add to a weapon and why. You don't want to just go into the forge and start adding 2 to 8 to your dagger, because you're going to end up creating an illegal weapon, and we may have to take it away from you, and we may or may not refund the resources you put into making the weapon. It just depends on the mood of the DM. So read the sign, and if you have any questions before you make your weapon, you can always ask Terrason. Myself, any DM that's on should be able to help you, as well as other players. You'll find the community pretty helpful, and some of them are pretty knowledgeable on the subject. So I'm a rogue, well, fighter rogue, and we want to upgrade a short sword. So we're going to look at the list and scroll down to damages. So we're going to keep all this stuff in the back of our mind. We're going to do a medium weapon. So that's going to give us 2 damage types. Medium weapons can have a max of 1 to 12, so I can't put 2 to 8 on my weapon. Then there's some clarification on what's a large weapon. It depends on the size of the character as well. It goes on to say that the first three types of enchantments must be bludgeoning, slashing, or piercing. Fighters, barbarians, and rogues may add 1 additional damage type. So only a fighter, barbarian, or rogue may have an elemental type. And rogues at level 20 get an extra damage type, so they can have 2 elemental types. The most you can add from the forge is 5 properties on any item. For my class and type, I can add all 3 physical types and 1 elemental type because I'm a rogue. And read also, there's some level restrictions. Technically I shouldn't have the extra damage type until I'm level 20, but for the purposes of this video, we're gonna pretend I'm level 40 and can do anything I want. So we're gonna start out with our short sword. It's normal short sword, 1 to 6, 19 to 20, and we're gonna pop it in the forge, close it up, and then we're gonna start with our dialogue. We want to add damage, and we have to add that physical damage first. So bludgeoning, I'm allowed 1 to 12. So let's do it. Damage slashing, 1 to 12. Here, we're up to 2 of my 4 types. And you'll notice, you probably can't see the dialogue too well. The recording setup doesn't really like this in-game dialogue menu. But each time I add damage, the cost goes up. So it takes more and more forged tokens. We're finally on our last type. We're going to go with acid. We don't want to go with fire because a lot of mages and casters are going to have fire buffs they can cast on me. So let's leave that slot open for them. We're going to go with acid. 1 to 12. It's going to cost 8. Now if we look at the weapon in there, I've added 4 damage types. But at Aaron's Forge, we can have 5 properties on a weapon. So we don't have to add all damage. We can add an ability modifier. If we have the Forge tokens, I'm going to try to add Dexterity +2. And it will cost me 10. Let's do it. Now if I talk to him again, he's going to tell me there's nothing, he can't help me till there be something in the Forge container he can work on. So it's pretty much all forged up as far as it will go with Aaron's Forge. But Aaron's Forge is not the only other way to add damage to an item in the game. Okay, so let's just see about some of this stuff. I want to move everything around till it's on the same screen. We also have a socket tool system that basically creates a socket on the item and will let us add additional damage. So we're going to use the socket tool on the item. This will create the socket. And now we can start adding, I've got all these sonic gems, but throughout the inner realms and various chests you'll find different damage types. We're going to add sonic. So the first gem, it stole the weapon. We'll just go here and come back and it'll reappear. It's a little glitchy. Added 1 to 4 damage sonic. But we can keep on going with these gems all the way up to 2d8. And 2d8 is legal to add through gems. I have not seen any sort of sign that says you cannot. So we're going to keep using these gems. What are we up to? 1 to 10. So we're going to keep going to 2 to 8. And it's going to make it disappear every time, so I keep switching between the inventory screens to bring it back, which is what I'm doing right there. So if it looks like your weapon disappeared after you used a gem on it, just go to a new page and come back. Alright, I'm up to 2 to 6, I can add 1 more. Alright. So gems and the forge are not the only way to enhance a weapon in Alangara. There's a quest at level 25 which will give you an orb of enhancement either for your chest or for your weapon. I picked the weapon one. So you have to have the weapon equipped in your right hand to use the orb on it. And if we read the orb, it's going to tell us that it will add +7 to the attack on it. So let's use the orb. And now our short sword has all of our damages on it from the forge, from the gems, and it's +7. It's a pretty nasty weapon, it looks like it's shaping up to be. But that's not all. It's like an infomercial. There is, once you become level 25, you become a member of the Royal Adventure Society. And at level 25, you can use a stone that they sell. These cost about 350,000 gold pieces each on the weapon. So let's use this stone on it. I think that was positive energy. Positive energy, 1 to 12 damage. Then there is another stone that you can add at level 35. So, as you can see, it's not only the forge that adds the damage to your weapons, and now we've got the positive energy, the negative energy, plus all the other damages that we've added, the enhancement bonus, and an ability modifier. So this is a pretty nasty weapon, and it would be a legal weapon for me with my class at level 35. But since I'm not, I'm going to end up having to throw it away, and it's so sad to see this weapon go into the litter bin. But that's the way it works. Uh, so, quick summary: the things to know are your class and your weapon size. They're going to have a lot to do with how many damages you can add on at the forge. Um, the other thing is to contact us if you have any questions. Um, and you probably want to do that before you start adding things to your weapon. Because, like I said, you wouldn't want to get it taken off you. Even if we do refund all the forged tokens and the gems that you used, it's still going to be a big time-consuming hassle. Usually we do, and we will work with you on that. But it's a lot easier to save everyone the trouble. So this was just a quick video on using the forge. So at this point, um, we have got our legal weapon with all our damages added. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the forge. Probably 1 from socket tools. That's the 2d8. Um, and as well as the stones we've looked at today from the Royal Adventure Society. But that is not all. We have an NPC here, uh, the Arcanum Transmuter, who can take various objects that are found throughout the world and turn them into a focus stone. So I just went and acquired the Thunderstrike. I'm not going to spoil it and show you where it is, but it's a pretty nice sword on its own. It has 2 to 10 electrical damage on it and 2 vampiric regeneration. But I don't use a long sword, so regardless of the weapon that I use, it doesn't matter. She can transmute it into a focus crystal, um, and we'll do that here. I have bought with you a blade of Thunderstrike, but you make it into a transfer stone. So the stone works on whatever's equipped. So make sure you have the correct weapon equipped before you use a Thunderstone. So I actually have 2 of them on me. It'll probably take them both. But let's use it. And now take a look at the weapon again. And we can see our 2 to 10 electrical damage was added and our vampiric regeneration. So, you know, even though I may not use a long sword, or maybe I don't want the actual helmet that the truth comes on, I can take those properties and move it over to another item of the same type. Thunderstrike has to be used on a weapon, and Truth has to be used on a helmet. So I don't really have a helmet. I'm not wearing a helmet yet, so we won't show you that. But it works in much the same way. The Arcanum Transmuter makes it into a transfer stone. You equip your helmet, use the stone, um, and it will add those truth properties. I think truth has true seeing on it and 3 regeneration. So um, if you forged up a helmet in the forge with some properties on it, these are always nice to stick on there. Um, that's about it for our forge video right now. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit our forums in our website, www.alangara.dk. And if you have any questions, you can ask them there on the forum. You can get at us in game, and there's also a Facebook group that you can request to join. Thanks.